Hi, I am here with Elizabeth Ayodele, and we are very excited to talk to her because she is coming to the Lowry in Steel Magnolias from the 21st to the 25th of February. Now,
Yes.
Elizabeth graduated from the Royal Central School of Speech and Drama, and she's already racked up a really impressive CV, working with the likes of Birmingham Rep, the National Theatre, Boundless Theatre, and now she's bounding away into Salford as Annelle in Steel Magnolias. So welcome and thank you for chatting to us at Manchester Theatres.
Thank you for having me. Thank
Oh,
you.
you're very welcome. So Steel Magnolias, what an icon of a film. And it's
Mm.
obviously beloved by so many of us out there. But potentially, there's a whole generation of people who are yet to discover this amazing story. So, how would you want to put that story across to them to get them to come and watch it and fall in love with the story like the rest of us?
Oh, I think it's such a beautiful play. I think there's so much light and comedy in it. I'd like to believe that now more than ever, we understand that we need to band together to laugh at things, you know. We need to be able to laugh and get that out. And I think as a younger person myself, I didn't know it before I was auditioning. And then I found myself sort of going, oh, time changes, but really the people that we know really doesn't. I feel like I know these women
Yes.
as if they're people that I've grown up with, and that to me is incredible. I feel like anyone who's watching, young or old, could go, I can identify with that person. And I feel like that's such a good reason to watch art, because it just makes you go, oh, it makes you just sit down and go, yes, people understand me, or I understand those people, you
Yeah,
know?
there's definitely that reflection in all. There's obviously the main six women, and I could pick a little bit of me out of every single one of them. So
Yeah.
yeah, it's a beautiful, beautiful story. And
Oh,
obviously, as we've said, you're playing Annelle, who
yes.
in the film was played by Daryl Hannah. Now,
Mhm.
obviously, you've got this iconic film, you've got this iconic actress. From your viewpoint, is this a hindrance or a help? Is it something that you're able to kind of, watch the film and say, oh, okay, that's really helpful? Or actually, is that something that you say, do you know what? I'll watch it once for reference, but I need to stay clear so that I'm not influenced and I can see the character through my own eyes.
Yes, I mean, you've hit it really on the head there. I think I watched it once. And actually there's been two films. So there was one in 2012 with Queen Latifah as well. And I watched both and I thought, okay, each actor has been able to give what they can give to it, but I can't really let it hold me back.
Mhm.
If there's anything that I feel I can give to it, then I offer that. And I think, but before I had watched the films, I read the script, and that reading those words just with no images or just seeing it on a page, you have an instinct about certain things. And so I find that once we had gotten into the room, I'd watched the films, I'd read the script, I felt really free to just do what my instincts were. And luckily, everyone in the room also helped me and aided and encouraged that. It wasn't ever, let's try and make sure she's at least a little bit close when she says that bit to what Daryl Hannah does. And it's hard not to, because you've got people coming who know the film like so well, and they have an expectation. But luckily, I haven't had any kind of fear about that. I've more so just taken it in its stride and said, well, you can see from the poster that I'm not like her. I'm not going to be
Yeah.
able to recreate her, even if I wanted to. But actually, we both equally have something to bring to it. And that's another reason that I think when you restage old stories, it can still be so relevant and so amazing, because actually you might have seen Daryl Hannah's and you might have really loved hers. And then you might see mine and you might go, well, that also had something to offer. And
Absolutely.
not to say that I'd ever be as good as her, I don't know. But I
No, I
think,
know exactly what you're saying. And that's the kind of point you're looking at it through your experience, your lived
yes,
experiences, your eyes, and that's what you bring to it. And yeah, everyone's version of the truth is different, isn't it? So yeah,
exactly.
oh, it's incredible. And
Yeah,
she does go on an incredible journey, Annelle. I mean, a huge one. She's the new girl in town,
yeah,
and then she has a marriage breakup. She finds new love. She finds religion. She loses a friend.
yeah,
She has a baby. I mean,
yes.
this whole roller coaster of things going on with your character. And even though some of that may sound sort of quite dark and, oh, blimey, is this it's all dealt with this beautiful and gentle humor that really allows us, like you said earlier, allows you to laugh at life and circumstance. So has that been something tricky or delicate within the rehearsal process, finding that balance between the light and shade so that you're not making light of big situations, but equally you're not letting it pull you down?
I think, yeah, honestly, yes, because we had the writer come in and speak to us. So yeah, I know, which was amazing on the second day. And I think I sort of sat down and I thought to myself, this holds a lot of weight for him, because it's his family. He knew these women, right? And it's not lost on me that there's a pressure with that to honor those real people. Sometimes you're doing shows where the person is completely made up and, every audience member can have or leave or take them. But because you want to honor the writing and you want to honor these people who they really were, you don't want to be, you don't want to be flippant about things. You don't want to just pass it off. And actually, after he came in and spoke to us, I thought to myself, well, actually, that pressure doesn't need to mean that we take everything completely serious because we're doing real people. What it actually means is that we go to the real depths of humanity and we say, when it is the most uncomfortable moment, just push through to the joy, push through to where the laughter is, and push through to the next moment of joy, of happiness again, of light again. Because it's not about avoiding the darkness, and it's not about avoiding what's sad or what's hard, but it's about really, really meeting that sad and that hard, but remembering that human beings aren't built to stay in that for long. They're not built that way. We change all the time as human beings. We change in society, and so change is always happening. And so the light and the dark sort of comes from that. It's sort of, for me at least, it comes from that. And I think our rehearsal process was very useful in the fact that we didn't shy away from these things. It's difficult to deal with these subjects, to deal with these heavy things. And, like you said, there's death in it, and it can be so painful and so gut-wrenching. And you hear it in the audiences. Sometimes we get nights where you can hear the tears and the sniffling, and you just feel so emotional just based on the experience that an audience member is having. And you can't even see who they are because of from the stage, the lights.
Yes.
And you connect to that. And so you think to yourself, do you know what? We as artists are going to bring you through that, actually. And that then makes it way more worthwhile. That the light then feels so much better because you've brought them through what it really was like, you know?
Yeah, no, I do. And it's really interesting that you said that, I'm kind of envious actually, that you said that obviously the writer, Robert Harling, came in and you met him because it is based around his experience. He did have a sister who died of complications from type 1 diabetes. And I don't have type 1 diabetes, but I do live with a different chronic invisible illness. So the representation that this kind of play brings to people, where you can see that there's the support of other people get you through, and you can make light of it. It doesn't have to be doom and gloom. It's really, really important to a whole community of people. So firstly, thank you for that. Thank you for doing it justice.
Oh, thanks to Robert. Thanks.
Well, yeah, but to people like you for being brave enough to take it on. Is that something that you found that, obviously that's my sort of little mini story there. Have you found that other people reach out and connect, who may be living with either diabetes or any other invisible illness, and say?
Well, it's interesting because actually someone had come to see it who couldn't have kids. And I think over time, having heard their story, I thought to myself, wow, there's so many things that you'll be met with that you don't actually know. Sometimes you come to the theatre and little parts of a story, and even if you do know the story well, there's so many different things that are going on that actually it's like, whoa, we deal with a lot on this stage. But I want to say that in that, I find that I personally feel like my art is made far more important when someone's going to be able to identify with it, and it raises the bar, and it makes all of us think, well, we want whoever that is, we want that person with type 1 diabetes or with some invisible illness, we want them to come in and say, you know, I don't have to shy away from this, because actually look at it up there in front of my eyes, in front of everyone here, and they're all loving it. And I'm loving it. Yeah. And so why, you know, why should it get me down? Why should it draw me back? Of course, there are things about it that are inescapable, but I think as artists, that's what we can really give to the world. You know, we show up and we prance about on stage, but that's what we can really give to someone. And I think that's why theatre and that's why telling art in this way is so powerful, because you will get those people that will come and be like, well, actually, you know, I did have a child die, I did have this happen, I did have that happen. But to know that, you know, you got through the dark and the light, and to know that it's possible is so important to see on stage and to see physically. And I think now more than ever, I feel like we're appreciating the reality of that there are so many stories worth knowing and worth understanding, because they are hard.
Yeah. I agree. And yeah, thank you for that. And like you say, what is amazing about this story is showing how you can get it. It isn't just addressing, oh, well, this person's got this, or this person loses a child, or this person dies, or it shows you how, or a possible how of how you can deal with that. And that is through sisterhood. It's through the bond that these 6 women have. It's an incredible cast, you know, in the film, but this cast, oh my goodness, it's just phenomenal. I cannot wait, honestly. It's the best cast. And was that something that you all found came to you really easily? You know, that bond. Did you kind of break out of rehearsals and take time to bond as a 6 so that you can really show that on stage as well?
Oh, that's such a good question. I think it came in different. It was different. It wasn't like, oh, we've taken time out of rehearsals to make sure that will happen. But actually, over the course of the 4 weeks that we were rehearsing, we just kept finding ourselves in moments where we just needed to rely on each other a little bit more. And then I think the week of tech and the opening in Bromley was like full speed ahead. We need each other. We need each other. And I certainly felt from everyone, and I'm sure the other women will say this too, is, you know, we'll pick each other up. No matter what happens out there, no matter what goes on, we'll keep going and we'll pick each other up. And it's such a reward, because you're doing writing that's doing that for you. But then in the moments where we felt a bit on stage, or where we felt like, oh, that could have been tighter, we then encourage each other. And I think the bond has come way more because we respect so much this work that we're doing. And so all of the fun things have been like so much greater, because we came from a place of like, we really want to get this work tight. We really want to make it great. And so now whenever we chill outside of coming to work now, it's always quite like, we've known you forever. And you really do feel like you know people for years. And I only met them, now that I think about it, in December. Do you know what I mean? That's 3 months. But I could easily say that Caroline and I had been like, I don't know, kindred spirit. I just don't know, you know.
Yeah, but that's like you say, that's the beauty of art, isn't it? That it brings you acting and all performing arts, and it brings you together like nothing else. It really does. And it's what a lovely sentiment. So thank you so much, Elizabeth. We're really excited to see Anel Strutter stuff down at the Lowry. I have got my appointment already booked for the salon. And we will see you there. So is there any sort of lasting thoughts you want to leave us with on why we should come?
Please come and see Steel Magnolias, not just because of the incredible writing, but also because I think laughter is maybe just the most It's beautiful for the human soul. And so if you like laughing, I think that you should come and see us. And maybe just come, even if you just want to judge the hair that I do, it's supposed to be a hairdresser. So if you're like, doubt she can do it, I think you should show up. Yeah.
Absolutely. And for the one-liners, there are some cracking one-liners in this play.
Yeah.
Thank you so, so much. As we've said, Steel Magnolias will be at the Lowry from the 21st to the 25th of February. Do not miss out. Thank you. Thank you so much.
Thank you.